Forget modern hospitals and vaccines. Imagine this. Over 2,000 years ago, ancient civilizations faced devastating plagues with none of our medical technology. But what if I told you they developed sophisticated and surprising methods to fight these diseases? We're talking about a blend of hygiene, public health, and spiritual practices that was a vital part of daily life. Did ancient people really have a way to fight plagues? Yes, they absolutely did. And it wasn't just a few isolated attempts. We're talking about a massive organized effort to protect millions. Imagine walking through the streets of ancient Athens. The year is 430 BCE. The air is thick with a sense of unease as a mysterious plague sweeps through the city. Everywhere you look, people are trying to understand and combat this invisible enemy. These were civilizations that relied on observation and ingenuity, the ultimate ancient defense against outbreaks. Think of their methods like ancient public health systems, but much more based on tradition and belief. So, if you thought germ theory was a modern invention, the ancients had their own surprising ways of thinking about disease. So, what exactly were ancient people doing to fight these outbreaks? It definitely wasn't what you'd expect from a modern medical professional. But they had some truly interesting and practical approaches. One of the most common methods was quarantine. They would isolate the sick to prevent the spread of disease, often moving them outside the city walls. They also understood the importance of sanitation. Think of it as a satisfying ancient public works project. You could also see cities implementing new laws, like better waste disposal or burying the dead far away from the living. And for those with a bit more knowledge, herbal remedies and medicinal plants were very popular. It wasn't just about curing the sick. It was about preventing the illness from taking hold in the first place, which was a vital concern for many city dwellers. Now, who exactly was leading the charge against these ancient plagues? Was it just for the priests? The truth might surprise you. While it's true that many religious leaders, especially those trying to placate angry gods they believe were causing the illness, played a heavy role, these efforts were for everyone. City officials, community leaders, and even ordinary people would step up. It was a common part of daily life for all kinds of people, whether they were trying to build fire breaks that stopped the spread of disease, like during the Great Plague of London, or simply following traditional customs. It wasn't just about the medicine either. These times were social hubs. People would gather, share news, and maybe even pray together. They were noisy, bustling, and full of life. Imagine the ancient world's equivalent of a busy emergency room, but one that was alive with chatter and the aromas of herbs. So, why did public health become such a huge part of ancient life? It all comes down to one main idea: observation, and a few other very important reasons. First, imagine living in a crowded multi-story apartment building in a city like Rome. Many of these apartments, called insulae, didn't have proper kitchens or running water. Living in close quarters with no proper sanitation was a huge health risk. So, understanding and trying to stop the spread of disease was simply safer and much easier. Second, the daily routine of ancient people was long and busy. People worked hard, whether in the forum at the docks or in workshops. There wasn't always time for a lengthy at-home medical treatment. So, a quick stop at a temple for spiritual guidance or using a simple herbal remedy was incredibly helpful for busy people. It truly was the ultimate ancient way to get back on their feet and back to their daily tasks. But here is something you really wouldn't expect from ancient civilizations. Many of these cultures were surprisingly scientific in their own way. They weren't just guessing. They were looking for connections. In places like ancient Greece, doctors like Hippocrates were starting to connect disease to natural causes rather than just divine ones. This laid the foundation for future medical science. It's like having the first doctors in your local community. This tells us that even these everyday places had a touch of ancient genius. It made the experience more logical, more understandable. It wasn't just about faith. It was about the atmosphere, too. The ancients clearly valued good health and a bit of a logical approach, even in their quick service treatments. Now, Let's talk about the less glamorous side. While their methods were clever, ancient people faced some serious challenges when it came to fighting plagues. With no understanding of bacteria or viruses, their methods were often ineffective. Open sewers meant waste was exposed to the general street environment. Water sources for cleaning could also be an issue. So, while their efforts were valiant, fighting plagues wasn't always the safest bet. Cases of death were likely common. The ancients, like all ancient peoples, struggled with understanding how germs spread. But for many, the need for a quick, affordable remedy outweighed these risks. It was a choice between doing something or not doing anything at all. How did they manage all this? They didn't have plastic containers or paper bags, of course. They didn't have modern tools or sterile equipment. So, how did the ancients manage their medical needs? They didn't have our technology. They had their own ingenious methods. The use of simple, reusable tools, like a bronze knife for a surgeon, was the norm. They made do with what they had, and it served them perfectly for their grab-and-go treatments. So, what can we learn from ancient civilizations fighting plagues? It's more than just a historical curiosity. It shows us how basic human needs and behaviors remain the same across thousands of years. The need for safety, community, and health is universal. Just like today, a crisis in ancient cities created a demand for ready-made solutions. It tells us about their economy, their social structures, and even their daily struggles. It also highlights the amazing adaptability of human societies. No matter the era, people find clever ways to keep themselves healthy, connect with each other, and make life a little easier. The ancient city wasn't just a place. It was a heartbeat of a community trying to survive. From the bustling streets of ancient Athens to the modern hospital, the story of fighting disease is truly ancient. It's a reminder that many of our daily habits have roots far deeper than we realize. The ancients didn't have our technology, but they understood community and ingenuity when it came to a quick fix. What do you think was the most surprising thing about ancient civilizations fighting plagues? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed uncovering these ancient ways, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Ancient Ways Discovered, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the past. We'll be diving into more incredible ancient secrets very soon.